I have only 5. Okay, people, 5.
Yeah, it's just top 5. That's all you can do.
Yeah. So get off my back. So the first one, Pete, I'm famous for this. I'm going to do a slash only because these are 2 bit parts. So they're not like full roles. But to me, number 5 is just going to be Matt Damon cameo. That's going to be the cha-ching. But he does a nice cameo of himself in Entourage, where he has like a cause and he wants Vince to join in the cause, and they do like a cut scene at the end where he's on the phone and just like cussing out Vince. And I don't know, it's such a small cameo, but he's so awesome in it, and he's just so intense. And even like a Drama and Turtle are like, did he just born your ass right now? Like it's just such a cool little cameo. So I put that number 5 along with Eurotrip, because in Eurotrip he comes in and sings Scotty Doesn't Know, and at this time he's literally at the peak of his career, and he does this small movie. I believe he went to college, I think, with the writers or the directors, something like that. So he was doing a favor for him. And again, it's such he shaves his head. It's just such a different character.
So out of character, and it was hilarious.
So that's why I had to slash that one. It's just 2 small cameo roles, but again, he crushes it in those films, and that's why that's my number 5. Number 4, and I actually had to cross this off. Originally, I put The Departed, and it hurt me to cross out The Departed.
That doesn't hurt me to cross that off.
But
I'm glad you crossed that off.
But the only reason why I crossed it out was because I had to put on Ocean's 11. And the reason why I put Ocean's 11 is it was such a unique role for him, because he is he's an A-lister at this point, but he takes a role where he's not the star, and he's actually underneath 2 bigger stars, if that's even possible, George Clooney and Brad Pitt. So he takes this kind of minor role, but he's also younger than these guys. So in the movie, he's kind of getting mentored by these guys, but it's also kind of happening in real life. And that's why I really like this role for him. Was again, he was able to drop his own ego to being a great ensemble film.
Yeah.
And I love that when actors do that. Some actors can't handle that. He can. He is an amazing ego, and that's why Ocean's 11 on it. Number 3.
Oh, hold on. I mean, if you can be underneath 2 men, I mean, Clooney and Pitt, those are the men that you want to be underneath for sure. I think I get an amen from the ladies.
Woo! All right, great job, Pete.
Thank you.
Number 3, guys. Number 3. This is probably not on a lot of people's list, but I think this is probably maybe one of his more diverse roles. Is he was in a Western called True Grit.
I knew you'd put that on.
Yeah, I mean, I love Westerns.
True Grit.
I love True Grit, and I love Westerns, and he's such a different role. And this one, obviously Matt Damon in real life is a very intelligent character. In this one, he's not an intelligent character, and that's part of the role he plays. Is he gets outsmarted by this young girl in the film, Haley Steinfeld. So that's why I like that role a lot. Is again, it's just such a different character than him, and this is kind of shows again his range, why he's such a great actor. But so True Grit's number 3 for me. Number 2, this is to me is just one of the films where it just showcases him, and it's The Martian. And it's him by himself for 90% of the movie, and it's his humor, and it's just enjoyable. Like, this is when you're a movie star. And Pete mentioned that what was the other film you talked about when it's just by yourself for the whole film? Oh, I Am Legend. You talk about this with Will Smith.
Castaway.
And Castaway is the same way. These are why only A-listers can do these movies. If this was somebody else, this movie probably sucks. But Matt Damon,
for the most part, Gravity too. I mean, Sandra Bullock in Gravity is mostly
right, and she has again that personality, and she's an A-lister. But these movies aren't for everybody in terms of like anybody could act in these. Matt Damon is by himself most of the time. He's talking to a camera and by himself, and he has to make it interesting. And obviously, yes, he has a script, but he still has the personality, the tone, the way he delivers lines that makes it super funny, super interesting. And The Martian sneaks up to number 2 on my list. I wouldn't say that, honestly. I've watched it a lot more lately, I think. Like, I don't remember liking it that much the first time I watched it. I was like, okay, it's okay. It's a good, solid movie. The more I watch it, the more I realize just again how entertaining the movie is. It's got great music. The rest of the cast is awesome too. Jeff Daniels and Jessica Chastain's in it. Who's Donald Glover is in that. It's got an excellent cast. It's Ridley Scott, who is, one of the greats. So it's just a film that I think is going to continue to, grow more on people, because it gets better and better the more you watch it. And number one, I mean, this is a no-brainer, guys. But Pete, you just got to understand, it's not your fault why this is number one. It's not your fault.
Not true, man.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. But my number one is Good Will Hunting. Because no movie. I mean, Good Will Hunting, guys, it might even make my top 5 of all time. And the hot take. So I literally, probably drama-wise, it may be my favorite drama. I watched it within this last year, and it still makes me emotional.
I watched it last week.
I'll probably watch it again. It's so good. So good. The writing, Robin Williams is so great in it. I love Boston. I love me a good Boston film. Anytime I can get my Boston accent out there, I'm going to do it, because it's so fucking good.
And Minnie Driver's sneaky great in it.
She is, yeah.
Skarsgård, it plays like the perfect asshole guy. Yeah. And I mean, the casting, I know
he doesn't play a lot of those roles anymore. He plays, he, like you're saying, he was so great in that role. He doesn't actually play that a lot, which is kind of weird, but
budget wasn't really high for that. And they were able to get these really, really amazing actors that just worked really well together in every scene.
And Gus Van Sant, obviously the director, he did an excellent job. Also,
Danny Elfman did the music.
Yeah, and Danny Elfman, he's coming off of the Tim Burton train, which is the Batmans, the Beetlejuices, that he had that very distinct tonality. This film,
dun, dun, dun,
yeah, this I want to say, and I'm a pretty good scholar on the Danny Elfman scores. I want to say this is his first real departure from his traditional tonality.
Should do a future list. Danny Elfman scores.
Oh, we will for sure. Yeah, because he ends up doing other ones. Like The Kingdom is a great soundtrack. I don't know if you've heard that one. I love that one. Again, different tonality for Danny Elfman. He does another one, The Promised Land, which is good. Next 3 days, maybe. I'm spitballing, guys, but Danny Elfman, again, he has this very, you know him for a certain tonality, but he also has this other gear, and it's fantastic. So
lovely. That's a pretty good list, Paul. I don't know if it's as good as mine, because mine, let's be honest, is pretty perfect.
And well, guys, make sure you comment below. Please let us know who wins this debate. I know I won, but Pete sometimes needs convincing. So please comment below.
Yeah, I'm very convincing.
First, comment your top 5. And then also comment on whether or not you think I won or Pete won. So Pete, please go ahead with your list.
All right. I was going to do a slash for my number 5, because I never do slashes, and I always make fun of you for doing slashes. So I'm going to remove my slash and just go with The Last Duel as my number 5.
Wow.
This was an interesting movie by itself, but I thought that his character, I thought what he did with it in the 3 different scenarios was really quite stunning.
I agree.
I thought that
I didn't watch that again.
Yeah, his approach to that character, it was something that I had never seen him do before, which was, somebody who is really trying to do something great, but is never taken seriously, and he just gets shit on the whole movie.
Lack of confidence. He has a pretty large lack of confidence in this film.
But, I thought it was an incredible role. So
I agree.
My honorable mention would have been Ford versus Ferrari. I thought he was excellent in that.
Yeah, he was great in that. That was one I hated to cut off.
That's the one that I was going to be my slash, but it's not officially a part of my slash now that I've voiced my opinion.
Well, you can't. That one's a tough. Ford versus Ferrari in The Last Duel. You can't slash that. Like that is cheating. So at least mine, there's a theme on the slash.
You always slash.
No, but there's always themes to my slashes.
Make a choice.
No.
You choose and you decide and you move on.
Well, yeah, but those are 2 great films. I was disappointed that I couldn't make them on my list.
And I couldn't put Saving Private Ryan because of the role was so small, even though it's about him. And he didn't really do much in it to make me go, oh, wow,
I agree.
Incredible.
It's a great film. It's a great film, but it's Tom Hanks's film. It's not his film. Even Tom Sizemore. I mean, Tom Sizemore has a bigger role than he does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Even
yeah,
the sniper
I'm
from,
100%.
Wayne's World
I don't
was
think
good.
Saving Private Ryan should be on this list. So
No.
anybody that puts Saving Private Ryan in their top 5 for Matt Damon, you just don't know Matt Damon.
You don't know.
You don't know.
Number 4 for me is Ocean's 11 for the same reasons that you said. It was a smaller role, but he still, I thought he shined in his own way. I think each character in Ocean's 11, even the smaller ones, had their moments, and they all performed really well. And I include him for sure in that.
Absolutely.
Number 3, this is a movie that I love and that I actually just watched recently again, and I can watch it over and over again, not only because of the subject matter, but because of Matt Damon and because of his co-star in it, and that's Rounders. I can watch Rounders.
I need to watch that again
all day. It's about Texas no limit hold'em.
Yeah.
Edward Norton plays just a fuck up best friend.
Malkovich too is excellent in this.
John Malkovich is incredible in it.
John Malkovich, not Tom.
I said John.
Oh, it sounded like Tom. I was like, Tom Malkovich.
Jonathan Malkovich is really good as a Russian in this.
Yeah. Fantastic.
But this was Matt Damon at the time. This was a different kind of role where, I mean, he still had that same kind of Matt Damon acting in it, but it was kind of elevated.
I want to say this is his first film after Good Will Hunting, no?
Might be.
Without me looking it up.
Right, it might be.
It's either that or Talented Mr. Ripley. These are all in the same post Good Will Hunting world.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. So yeah. And then number 2 for me, and this was tough. I mean, these two were, I put Good Will Hunting 2, and I put Bourne, just the character, as number 1, because I'm a huge Bourne fan. I thought he came out, and
I need to rewatch the series.
It could have been a disaster. At the time, casting Matt Damon as Jason Bourne, you hadn't really seen him as an action star yet. Right. And he came out in Bourne, especially the first one. I love the other 2. Not a huge fan of the 4th or the other one that they did. But
well, the fourth was with Jeremy Renner, right?
Right. I'm talking about the 4th Matt Damon one.
Right, which is
which is just Bourne.
Yeah.
It was fine, but I can't even think about that one. But Matt Damon came in, and he was so good as an action star, and he was so smart, and he played that role perfectly. So that's my number 1.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's good.
Comment below on how perfect my list is.
Yeah. And wait, that's Bourne's your number 1. Oh wow.
Yeah, Bourne. I mean, I think that character is
I never got in.
As good as Good Will Hunting is, and as iconic as that.
Wait, you didn't even put that on your list?
No, it's number 2. What are you talking about?
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Are you listening to me at all?
No, I got stuck in Bourne world.
Wow. Yeah, no, I even said I was just struggling because Good Will Hunting is so amazing.
You didn't say number 2. Yeah, I see what you did.
No, I'm just trying to, I'm self-editing here.
No, that's good. Look, the other film. So where there's we cut out a lot of good films of Matt Damon. I mean, have you ever seen The Good Shepherd?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
but again, it wasn't
a great film. I don't think.
I think it was great huge of a role to consider in my top 5 for sure.
But I think where he still has a big future ahead of him is definitely governmental type, like CIA type roles, because he's so smart. And he has action. Like, I mean, he could be a Jack Ryan type, you know what I mean? Because he has the action part to him. He has the intelligence. And I would like to see him more in roles like that, where
I know, but can you actually put him in a Jack Ryan, especially? I mean, he's already done
that
role.
Krasinski's Jack Ryan right now, and he's excellent. So, but I'm just saying, like CIA or FBI, like these governmental type roles where it's an intelligent / action type of role. I think he can have a nice, I want to see him more in roles like that, because I think he's got a great future there. Besides films like The Martian, which again, he's part scientist, botanist, which is why he was so great in that.